In 1970, economist George Akerlof introduced the concept of adverse selection in his paper, The Market for Lemons Quality Uncertainty, and the Market Mechanism. This idea revolves around the asymmetry of information between buyers and sellers, where the party with more knowledge about the goods or services being sold can manipulate the outcome of the transaction. For example, sellers of used cars know whether their vehicles are in good condition or not, while potential buyers remain unaware. As a result, sellers often overcharge for their lemon cars, leading to market inefficiencies. Despite efforts to address this information asymmetry through extended guarantees, inspections, and certifications, people still fall victim to bad decisions. Why does this happen? We have no excuse, as we have the tools at our disposal to combat this problem. However, we often choose to decide under the influence of information asymmetry, forming opinions based on headlines, passing judgments on social media posts, and making decisions without demanding proper context. To improve our decision-making, we need to focus on three key aspects defining our circle of competence: understanding the gap between knowledge and ignorance, and utilizing the abundance of information available to us. Warren Buffett popularized the concept of the circle of competence, which refers to the areas in which we have deep knowledge and expertise. By staying within this circle, we increase the chances of making accurate assumptions and decisions. Anything outside of this circle is mere smoke and mirrors that can be safely ignored. The remarkable thing is, our circle of competence can be relatively small, yet still lead to success. Specializing in a niche field or industry can be enough to keep us busy for a lifetime. To determine the boundaries of our circle of competence, we must explore its edges and conduct low-risk experiments. Once we set these boundaries, we can build a network of context within it, ignoring distracting noise on the outside. Although life may occasionally force us to step outside our circle, acknowledging our limitations allows us to consult with experts, prioritize learning, and make more informed decisions. The gap between knowledge and ignorance is crucial. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell suggested that the ideal amount of information needed to make an educated decision lies between 40 and 70 of the total available information. Waiting for more context below 40 can lead to delays, while procrastinating after acquiring 70 may result in missed opportunities. Each situation is unique, but considering the margins of our circle of competence and determining how far we need to expand, it is essential. Urgency should not pressure us into making subpar decisions. Instead, we should seek the best possible option for our circumstances. Despite the vast amount of information available to us due to the internet, we often fail to utilize it fully. Warren Buffett managed to figure out information asymmetry in the early days of his career, despite the absence of online resources. Nowadays, we have access to history's entire knowledge at our fingertips, yet we often fail to dig deeper than headlines or skim through books. Reading and critical thinking are the diets of the wise, and we must make use of the tools at our disposal to build context and make informed decisions. In a fully connected world, information is only as asymmetric as we allow it to be. We must leverage the tools available to us, resist hasty decision-making, and continuously seek to expand our knowledge and understanding. By making good decisions and allowing them to compound over time, perhaps one day, others will read about our successes. Remember, you have the power to overcome information asymmetry. Take the time to seek knowledge, build context, and make informed decisions. Usually, anything heard on mainstream radio isn't worth listening to, but today they posed a thought-provoking question that I liked. If you picked up a book and discovered it was your biography from birth to death, knowing that you can't rewrite the narrative, would you read past your current point in life? That's a great question. And when put to the public, the general response was no, people didn't want to read how their lives played out. But for me, perhaps oddly enough, I'd happily read it. What is it that's gotten me to this point? What do I think is essential to living out a life you'd happily read about? These are the questions I will answer in this video, and provide you with a guide you can shape to write your own personal bestseller. The truth is, most people are not choosing to be the author of their life. Rather, life is just happening to them. Their daily choices, both consciously and unconsciously, have them acting as a mere character in a story, with no idea as to how it will unfold. As Darren Hardy wrote in his book The Compound Effect, most people drift through life without devoting much conscious energy to figuring out specifically what they want and what they need to do to take themselves there. This is why most people do not want to read the story of their life, without any real direction behind their daily activities. Every new page beyond their current point would simply be a complete and utter shock to them. In short, it probably wouldn't make for very good reading. Getting away from this starts by asking 3 simple questions. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? How am I getting there? Once you know where you're going and how you're getting there, you'll be bringing a purpose to your everyday actions. You'll be heading where you want to go, and you'll have more certainty in your future. A while ago, I spoke to a friend of mine who was on the fence about taking a year off med school to travel the world. I gave him one piece of advice: whatever decision you make, ensure that it's one you can live with for the rest of your life. When I spoke to him again, he told me he had taken the leap and was going to do it. I asked him what pushed him over the edge. He said, "If not now, when? I am not going to be young forever. I can't put a guarantee on the future. If I don't do it now, I might never do it, and I couldn't live with that regret." To me, that's a great reason to do anything. I've said in the past, a good decision is one that leaves you saying, "I am glad I did not. I wish I had." But too often people don't live with this mindset. People would rather do what's easy or feels good in the moment. Even sometimes they'll do something because it's what other people expect of them. But these are all terrible reasons to do something and will likely lead to regret later on down the line. A lot of the pages will be read asking, "What if? Why didn't I take a chance? Why did I make that decision?" Keep the end in mind. Make the present count for a well-lived future. A surefire way to write the pages how you want and achieve your ambitions is to build habits around what's important to the core areas of your life. Why? Habits take out most of the work. If you regularly do something until it becomes a habit, and the science says it takes an average of 66 days to acquire a new habit, the payoff from developing that habit is great. It keeps you on track of where you're going. It simplifies your life. As David Cadavy has said, when you build a habit, you don't have to waste mental energy deciding what to do. Lock in habits so they become part of your life, and you can basically ride your routines to where you want to go. Don't worry about writing your life story for anyone else. Make it a book you're proud to read. Be the author of your story, not the victim of it. Deliberately do the things that take you where you want to go. Write your life in a way that leaves you with no regrets. Do the things that make you say, "I am glad I did," not "I wish I had." Finally, establish habits that align with the plot you desire. You are what you do repeatedly. Now let's go make our lives worth reading about. There's probably nothing more frustrating than knowing an exam is on the horizon, knowing you need to study for it, and completely lacking any motivation to actually sit down and get started. Studying is one of those things that's easy to lose motivation for. It can seem overwhelming, impossible, and never-ending, but regaining motivation for studying isn't impossible. And there are several ways to make sure your studying is stress-free, structured, manageable, and even fun. Let's break some of them down. Point 1. Remember why you study. The first thing to do right after you sit down to study, but before you bust out the notebooks and pens, is to remember why you're studying. What makes studying so important to you right now? Is it because you want to become a marine biologist and you need to pass a test to finally launch your career? Or is it something less dramatic, like wanting to ace an upcoming final? Your answer to why studying is so important to you right now might just be that it's not. That's the problem. Well, turns out that's okay too. Just because something seems unnecessary or worthless doesn't mean there isn't any reason to do it. Reasons to study, even when you feel like it's fruitless, can be as simple as keeping up your overall grades, passing a class so you never have to take it again, or even learning something outside your comfort zone so you can draw new connections to the topics or disciplines you are actually interested in. Take some time to reflect on what your reason for studying might be. This can go a long way in motivating you to start. Viewing studying as a part of a larger picture can help make your emotional resolve to study much stronger. Point 2. Prepare your environment. Your environment has an enormous impact on your emotional state. So make sure you're studying in a place that helps rather than hinders your work. If you're feeling particularly unmotivated to study, try cleaning and tidying up your desk, lighting a candle, or turning on soft music or ambient noise. Remove distractions from your space as well, like cell phones, clutter, and other projects you're not working on at the moment. It also may be a good idea to make sure you're not so comfortable in your workspace that you fall asleep or feel lazy. Sitting upright at a desk can put you in the right mental mood to dig into your work. Point 3. Change locations. Sometimes your typical studying location may get stale. If you're having a hard time motivating yourself, try moving to a new environment to study. Going to the local library or a coffee shop can make you feel like you're really doing something and can turn your motivation on full blast. Something about the new environment makes our brains feel refreshed and ready to tackle our work. If you can't go to a library or coffee shop, you can try just moving your work into another room or even working from the floor. Point 4. Get a study partner. There is nothing quite like peer pressure to get you to do something. So why not use peer pressure to get you to do the right thing? When you feel that motivation slipping from your grasp, grab a study partner to help you concentrate. Of course, make sure your study partner or partners are committed to working on studying too, so you don't end up distracting each other. As an extra bonus, set a time and a place to meet up with your study buddy and work. This way, you have an obligation to meet and are more likely to show up and get things done. Point 5. Utilize YouTube. If you can't meet up with a friend, try TTING on a study with me YouTube video in the background while you work. These videos can simulate the feeling of studying with someone else while also providing ambient sound or soft music. Many of them even include timers to keep you on track for when you need to study and when you can take breaks. Point 6. Make studying a game. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to study is that they feel overwhelmed. They're stuck in a negative emotional rut and they can't get out. Their brains immediately try to run from the bad emotions, which means not studying and not confronting the problem. They put it off and eventually realize it's too late. So instead of fighting against your feelings of overwhelm, replace them with new feelings. Turning your studying into a game is a great way to change your emotional state. By turning studying into a game, you stop thinking about the end result and focus on winning your little game instead. And that is way more fun than stressing about learning everything. One easy way to turn your studying into a game is to quiz your study partners. Create flashcards, keep track of points, or simply see who can rattle off memorizable information the fastest. Of course, you can also do this by yourself if you don't have a study partner. An easy way to make studying into a game for yourself is to simply list out each of the concepts you need to master and then checkmark them off as you learn them. That might not sound like much of a game, but by checking each concept off, you get to see how much progress you're making and feel good about every little milestone. Point 7. Make your notes pretty. Another way to replace the feeling of overwhelm is to make your studying process more fun through an art project. Try rewriting your notes, but this time, create fun doodles to illustrate key points. Even just using interesting designs, fonts, and colors can help make the whole thing a lot more fun. Remember, your notes don't have to be Pinterest-worthy. All that matters is that you enjoy making them. As soon as you start having fun with the note-taking process, you'll actually enjoy studying and have more motivation to keep going. Point 8. Create a cheat sheet. You can also make studying more fun by creating a cheat sheet that only takes up one piece of paper. It can be an interesting challenge to try to fit all the relevant information on just one sheet. Plus, simply the act of making a cheat sheet will help you retain the information you need. Even if you can't use the cheat sheet for a test, you'll have learned everything you need to. Point 9. Just do the first thing. Sometimes, no matter how much we prepare mentally, no matter how fun we make it, no matter how many study partners we have, our motivation just isn't there. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to not have any motivation. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, stressed, frustrated, to feel like there's no way you could ever tackle the mountain of things you need to tackle in order to be prepared. Feeling that way is normal. But despite all those feelings, you can still study. Your feelings are just your feelings, and they don't have to dictate how you act. Recognize your lack of motivation, think about where it's coming from, then accept it and move forward anyway. Let your emotions be, and instead of trying for hours to create motivation out of nothing, just do the very first step on your studying to-do list. That first step might be something as simple as opening up a book, turning on a laptop, taking out a pen and piece of paper, or sitting down at your desk. Motivation actually often follows action. So if you put yourself in motion first, your motivation may end up making a surprise appearance after all. So if the motivation to study continually eludes you, stop chasing it. Worry about getting the very first thing done. Motivation will follow later, and by the time it arrives, you'll already be studying. You can add studying, even if you don't have any motivation, as part of our daily routine with our sponsor, Fabulous. Fabulous is the #1 self-care and habit-forming app that helps you build better habits and achieve your goals. Fabulous makes it easy for anyone to develop and stick to healthy habits, thanks to science-backed daily routines. As a result, you will feel healthier, fulfilled, and more productive. You can pick from more than 100 recommended habits or create your own. Fabulous helps you build these habits thanks to timely reminders and features embedding behavioral science principles in content for self-improvement and mental health. Whether it's focusing on reaching your objectives, developing your motivation, or anything else that might suit your needs, the app is fully customizable, so it's really up to you. Start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people who click on the link will get 25% off a Fabulous subscription. A big thank you to Fabulous for sponsoring this video and helping to support this channel. So there you have it. Studying doesn't have to be a chore or a daunting task. With the right mindset and approach, you can regain your motivation and make studying an enjoyable and productive experience. Remember, it's not about the amount of time you spend studying, but the quality of your study sessions. So take these tips and put them into action. And before you know it, you'll be acing those exams and feeling proud of your accomplishments. Now, I want to hear from you. What strategies do you use to stay motivated while studying? Leave a comment below and let's start a conversation. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep studying and keep striving for success.